Welcome back, my battle brothers and my battle sister. Welcome back. I see you guys and I appreciate you. Today, we're going to be printing a full 10-man Feral Space Viking squad here, proxy for the Wolfen in my 2,000 point army. Now, if you missed the last episode, you need to go check out the You Don't Need Resin video, because that one right there, I printed a full 10-man Space Viking Exterminator proxy squad as well. So this is going to be part 2 of this journey here, where I go to build a 2,000 point army. I'll add it to a playlist so it'll be easier to find in the future. And we're going to be doing it all on FDM machine. So make sure that you like and subscribe so you don't miss a single step. So because I'm building a Space Viking proxy army, we're going to be talking Space Wolves lore. We're going to be diving deep into my high-end FDM workflow, which starts with Lychee Slicer, moves over to Blender, and ends with OrcaSlicer. We're going to be talking presets. We're going to be talking about scaling when you're kit bashing. And then most importantly as well, I'm going to be showing you the finished product and how easy the supports, these resin-style FDM supports, peel right off. Now, things have been blasting around here lately. The response has been insane from that last video I put out, and the resin purists are out in full force in the comments, and the FDM people are out. And I think it's because for years, we've been hearing that if you're going to do tabletop miniatures, you have to do resin. Although FDM isn't quite there yet with resin, it still has made incredible growth. Now, one of the most prominent questions that was in the comments was the filling the build plate all at once. If a single print fails, then yes, you're going to ruin the entire batch. And now, if you're unsure about your machine, filling the plate it's a big gamble. You should always test the waters first. So when you take a single piece, a single part of your build here, for example, we could take this shield here. What we want to do first is we want to make sure that we're getting the results that we want with one piece before we send it in to print in bulk. So this exact shield right here, what we do is we start by going into Lychee Slicer. And that's like the first thing that I do is I go into Lychee Slicer, and I usually grab the unsupported file, even if my mini factory file will come with pre-supported. I avoid using those because resin is different than FDM, and those supports, sometimes they do work, but I find myself, it's easier just to go and manually support them. After that, I just have to maybe throw a few manual supports in there, and I'll make sure I link the tip diameter preset and the support diameter preset here for you to use. Now, to get the faster results and quicker print times, after that, it's time to head over to the Blender. And it's the Blender add-on Resin to FDM. Here, we're going to use this program to separate the miniature itself from the supports that we just created in Lychee. And we're going to set a tip diameter of 0.25 millimeters and an overall support diameter of 1.50 millimeters. This is going to make it so that those pillars are strong enough to handle the FDM movements and they kind of support each other. However, the small tip diameter of 0.25 will make it so that when we remove those resin style supports, that there's minimal scarring in there. From Blender, it's time to go to OrcaSlicer, and that's where we do our final printing preset here. I am using my 0.06 layer height here profile with my optimized strength settings in OrcaSlicer, and that's so that you can move around, they can fall off the table, they're going to be fine for the most part in that. The filament of choice that I have been using is the Creality Hyper PLA here. I just find that, and actually I just got really close to running out here on this batch. I actually switched mid-print for the last part here, but I find that the fast PLAs, in this case Creality calls it the Hyper series, are generally going to do better when it comes to the fast movements of those resin style supports. And so that's kind of my opinion, but feel free to use whatever PLA you have laying around. Now, to be completely transparent, I stuck to my commitment last week and I did not buy a single new file from my mini factory. And I strictly forced myself to reuse the files that I already had. But sticking to that budget and that commitment meant that the shoulders that I had purchased didn't necessarily fit this smaller model in these Feral Space Viking proxies here. So they would have looked like trash cans on their shoulders. So what I had to do in OrcaSlicer is I went in there, used my already saved file that I already had in OrcaSlicer, and I just reduced it to 80%. I kept reducing it until I kind of like looked okay to fit, and I did. So I landed on 80%. Specifically for this 10-man squad, the story is all about the Canis Helix, and that is, in general terms, it's like the curse that the Space Wolves have in the 40K universe. So the Canis Helix is a genetic curse. In the lore, it grants them like super acute predatory senses, superhuman strength, but on the other hand, it's a curse. Now, if they lose control, usually through constant bloodshed and violence, then it turns them, it mutates them into these monstrous beasts called the Wolfen. And in my situation here, I wasn't ready for two reasons, because I wasn't going to fully commit to purchasing more models. But what I wanted to do here is create kind of the aesthetic of, these are the units that the Canis Helix curse has manifested, but the Space Viking soldier hasn't fully succumbed to it. So in the faces, I chose the heads that I had that kind of had that feral look in them, but not yet fully succumbed to that all. Eventually, though, I do want to make another 10-man, because I feel for my 2,000 point army, I'm going to have 20 Wolfen, maybe 30. I think they're a good unit. They just die so easily, but I think they're a great unit. And that other 10-man is going to be fully feral. And what I'll do is I'll have like my two 10-man squads will kind of be intermixed with some that have fully succumbed to that Canis Helix curse and some that have not, just mingled in there. I don't know, that's just kind of what I'm thinking. And, I'm reading the books and like, that sounds super interesting to me. And so, in this channel, guys, that's what you're going to be getting. Okay. I'm going to be like reading listening to a good audiobook, and I'm going to be 3D printing stuff that I'm actually learning about while I read, or stuff that I find cool. The other cool thing right now is I really like the idea of a wolf priest. I do have one in my army. However, I'm just like, it sounds cool to me, the wolf priest. So I think that might be the next proxy that I find. There's also some good creators out there on My Mini Factory that sell specifically like decorations or like custom pelts, or just like little things that you can place on your miniatures. And I think like that is kind of the route to go. Once you have like the core torso and parts like that, you can kind of just really just mix and match and kit bash your way to whatever your specific needs are, what you're doing, whether that's D&D or whether that's Warhammer or whatever it is that you're playing, whatever tabletop, you kind of really get into that. And I think FDM and the ease of doing this, and once you have this dialed in like this, it really lets you just kind of be super creative what you like. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And that's the beauty of it. You can simply just switch it out. If I eventually want to make these guys look more feral, well, maybe I just, rip the arm off and put another arm on there that's a little more feral looking. We are eventually going to paint these, and my compressor actually, when I was priming these up, because that was another thing that I saw in the comments, is how does it look primed up, ready to go? This one, let me move the camera here a little bit. Hopefully it's not too crazy. It doesn't move around too much. I kind of did move it around a little bit. We'll leave that in there. So this one right here, my actual compressor, I have like an Osair compressor, and it actually, I don't know if it was too hot or something. It just like died. So I don't really do any kind of prepping. I take the supports off and then I prime it up pretty much. I don't use a hobby knife. I just let it go. And, I guess if you like doing that, then go ahead and do that. For me, it's like, I'm going to throw some paint on it. I'm going to primer it up, but look at the results. I think the results like speak for themselves here. And this just looks amazing. I wondered if I should have gone a little bit larger on the hammer there. I don't know, but I do like the little paw on the shoulder here. But I think for my first batch of feral Space Vikings, I think it came out absolutely great. Super excited to start painting this one. Now, that wasn't the only thing. The full 10-man has been primed here. And what was really cool that last week is I was able to get some really dynamic poses. So let me find this open arm, I think, is one of my favorite poses here that I did. This is the same arm, guys. I'm just super gluing them at a different angle. I use like the activator, and so that allows me to really get good like holds on certain things, but like the same arms, the same weapons and everything, guys. I was like, what the? Okay, this one right here, I feel like is like my favorite pose here. This is the Space Viking Terminator proxy. And I think that raised shield is like my absolute favorite pose here. And sorry, I'm over here, I'm just moving out of camera. Absolute favorite pose of all. But this is what you can achieve right here with, and let me move the camera here again. But this is what you can achieve with FDM. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't do this and that you can't have fun with your hobby. Choose what you want to print it up, have fun with it. Now, I know people have been asking specifically for like the exact full OrcaSlicer profiles. That was like the other big one here, like my 0.04 layer height preset, my 0.06, my 0.08, and I even have a 0.1 one that I use for larger ones. I'm actively fine-tuning that and to make sure that it's correct. One thing about using presets that you find other people use is the machine. Since I use a Core XY here, I really push the speeds on my prints much higher. And so that's not always the same. You can't always do that with like a bed slinger or a different kind of printer. You got to really just test that out. But I am working on them. And besides just sharing settings though, I do want to eventually launch a dedicated community Discord. So that's where I can really provide assistance if you need that, but you know, we can help each other out, fine tune our settings, we can share our prints, and we can just talk all things tabletop hobby here, all things FDM printing for that matter. Now, the other thing that I want to do is in that Discord is find some people that are willing to play some tabletop simulator with me. So that would be a good thing. So I'm still kind of working that out, figuring out how I'm going to do that, but just keep subscribed, like the video, and you can I'll make sure I announce that when it's ready to go. Thank you guys so much for this. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate all the support in these videos. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stick around. I'll be dropping that official invite later on, and I'll continue to print the things that I'm interested in doing. So I think the Wolf Priest might be next. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think I should be printing next for my Space Viking proxy. And I think the next one's going to be World Eaters. I think. I'm not sure, but that's what I kind of like, the World Eaters as well. You know, I'm kind of just printing what I like, which is what you should do in this hobby. So get out there, print something, and I'll see you next time.